Hey, welcome to the Neo compiler setup tutorial. If you don't have our source code already, it is available for download at our GitHub repository. You can go to our public repository, click on code, go ahead and download zip, and once you download the zip file, you should be able to unzip it and find a file with a bunch of demo programs, the ANTLR ANTLR jar, and our grammar along with our source code. Once you have all that, you can go ahead and open that up with an IDE of your choice, either IntelliJ or Eclipse, and from there you can just start running the program. So for Eclipse, you can just go ahead and do open projects from file system, go ahead and grab the correct directory. In this case, the right one shows up on the first try, hit open, finish. Now you're almost perfectly ready to start running the program, but usually you just want to make sure that your run configurations are set up nicely. So right now we don't have everything in our run configurations, which is okay, but what we do need is our project class path to be set up so that we have ANTLR in the system. So when you go to libraries, just make sure that ANTLR 413.1 is in the class path, and just in case we've left it in our repository, so it's right there. You can go ahead and add that by doing class path, add jars, and then finding that jar right here and adding it. So that's totally an option if it's not there already. But once you have all that set up, you can go ahead and open up our default package, go to the neo.java file, and hit run as Java application. Proceed, and yes, your program is running, but you just got to provide it those command line arguments. So now you can just go ahead and go into your run configurations again, go to arguments, specify the arguments, and for the sake of our project structure, we will always be compiling with source scratchpad.txt. So the way we have our project set up is that we have one scratchpad file where we load our Neo programs in for running, and we keep wiping that and loading in new programs so that we can run them. So you go ahead and hit apply, you hit run, and errors exist in the project. That's totally okay. Proceed with the launch. And great, so it looks like the program is running. And basically, this is the semantics test program that is basically showing that there are some semantic errors in a given program. So here in the scratchpad, you can see the program that we've loaded, and the output shows you the corresponding semantic errors. So that's great. Something's working. And if you would like to run in a separate program, you can go ahead and open up our demo Neo programs. And then let's suppose you want to run our library Hilbert program, the one program that uses our library functions to perform inverses and compute a Hilbert matrix. So you go copy all this and go to the scratchpad. You can go ahead and wipe it by selecting all and pasting over it. And then you can use the same run configuration again. So go ahead and hit run. Proceed. And great, no semantic errors, no syntax errors, and the object J file is created in our source directory. We basically made some modifications to the original Pascal program so that the J files are delivered into our source directory, where we have also conveniently placed our Jasmin jar. So once you have this in place, you can go ahead and open up a terminal window, navigate to that directory. So I'm just going to open up my own terminal window right here. I'm going to go do cd to desktop to team 404, and I'm going to hit cd source. Now once I'm in source, I can just go ahead and do java-jar jasmin.jar followed by the J file that I just generated. Great, the class file is generated. It probably does not show up on the Eclipse side because Eclipse does not like to show class files, or possibly I have to refresh the project explorer directory, I don't know. But you can now go ahead and do Java with the name of the class that you're about to run, so Java Hilbert, and then you'll get some output for that program. So let's go ahead and enter. And yeah, this is basically the Hilbert program running on our library functions right now. And if you were to try doing this with a different program, for example, let's take the 2x2 program. It's a very simple 2x2 square matrix. You can go ahead and bring that in by copying it, selecting all the scratchpad, pasting over it, and then you do the same thing. You would hit the run configure. You'd use the same run configurations and hit run neo. Resources to save, okay, proceed, and okay, it looks like we're getting some semantic errors, so perhaps this is not the program that we want to be running. Perhaps something simple like test matrix. Scratchpad, wipe it, run, and run neo. Okay. Great, no semantic errors and test matrix.j is created. Okay, let's go ahead and do, we're in source, so let's go ahead and do java minus jar. What is this file called? It's test matrix, so java minus jar jasmin.jar, test matrix.j. Boom, there's your class. Now let's go ahead and just run it with test matrix. Yep, there you go. It's simply putting in some entries into a matrix. So yeah, there you have it. That is how you run our compiler. Aside from those run configuration issues, importing ANTLR doesn't seem to be too much of a challenge, and running your own Neo programs is pretty straightforward. You just load them into the scratchpad, do the same configuration run, and go to the terminal to use Jasmin, and then run that class file. So yeah, that's our program. That's our stuff.